Do not believe the lie that just because you're an older singer, that the throat tension, the pain, strain, cracks, and tension are always just going to get in your way. I don't care if you're 50, 60, 70, 80, 100. Just because you are older does not mean that your voice cannot develop and grow into the type of music career that you have always wanted. Hey, my name's Isaiah Harris. I'm a vocal coach. And believe it or not, a good majority of my students are actually older singers in their 50s and above. I'm not one of your typical coaches that only just works with kids. So I know exactly what are the struggles of older singers and exactly how to fix them. And in today's video, I am going to show you my killer, amazing vocal technique that is going to help you to eliminate the throat tension and actually be able to sing with the true freedom and power that you've always wanted. All right, let's get down to business here. So, first, I really want to kind of explain the core principles and differences of older singers and how those voices work compared to, your younger singers. And then we're going to go into some exercises specifically to really help you get past these throat tension and strain issues that you're having. So it's really important to understand that as your voice gets older, it becomes less and less forgiving of mistakes. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't do the things, hit the higher notes, sing with more of that power. But the older and older you get, the more and more important quality training becomes to make sure that you're keeping the muscles of your voice in tip-top shape. Because you want to kind of think of the voice like a rubber band, to where when you're singing, it's stretching like, oh, to all those different ranges of notes. And as your voice gets older, this rubber band essentially gets thinner and it doesn't lose its strength, but as it's getting thinner, there is far less room for error. Like if I were to stretch and pull this rubber band with all my might to try to break it, I don't need anywhere near as much pressure as if I was trying to stretch this rubber band here, to represent younger singers. But both of these rubber bands, regardless, they still can stretch the exact same amount. They still can perform the same movement to hit all those different ranges, all those different pitches. It's just we need to make sure that we're training this in an effective way to make sure at your age that these muscles keep growing and that we remove all the tension that's happening inside of your voice. So another way to really think about this is, there's a lot of fitness principles that correlate with singing principles. In fact, literally any principle you can think that applies to fitness, working out, and the gym, also too, you can just copy and paste that right into singing. And like a really good story I heard is, if anyone's familiar with who Julia Hawkins is, she was a centenarian, over 100 years old. And at the age of 100, she was breaking world records for the 100-meter dash. And she kept continuing to run and cycle and do all these different exercises into her old age. I mean, she was like literally doing things that even people younger than her couldn't. But it's because she got regular training of her muscles. She kept using them, so they just got stronger and stronger with age instead of getting weaker and weaker and weaker with age. And with our voices, we want to make sure that the voice is going to get stronger and stronger and stronger with age instead of weaker and weaker and weaker with age. The same way how to have a good, solid, quality runner, you need to build running stamina. To have a good, solid, quality voice, we need to build vocal stamina. So the exercise that we're going to do today to help you to build vocal stamina is called the Hunga exercise. Okay, it was kind of a mouthful there. But essentially what we're going to do here is we're going to find a little octave slide here that we're going to sing this on. And we'll do it right around wherever you feel the middle of your range is, like right where you feel is kind of like that middle break in between your chest voice and your head voice, so that we're getting really strongly into that mix here. You're going to find what that, octave is to you. It's going to be a little different for everybody. It doesn't need to be exact, but just wherever you personally feel the center of that range is going to be. And what we're going to do here is we're going to start on a nice, simple little hum, such as a hum. And then after we get that good, solid hum, we want to make sure that we have that vibrational, buzzy, resonant energy behind it. Like we don't want to have a hum. We want to hum. Like you should almost feel the sensation of kind of like buzzing bees, which I'm sure a lot of you have probably seen in other YouTube videos about, that buzzing sensation with resonance. So, and then once we have a good solid hum and we do not move on until we feel we have that good solid hum, we then transition the sound into more of a yeah. So it's going to look like hum. And you also notice too, I had a very smooth, subtle transition from the hum to the ni to the ya. And also too, when you're doing the ni, your tongue needs to be touching the roof of your mouth. Yeah. And you'll notice here, I'm being very, very nitpicky about each and every single one of these key steps. And it's because the success is in the simplicity. Because the number one thing that separates an average singer from a top-notch celebrity level singer? Not much. The singers that are doing the things that you want to do and using their voices the way that you want to use them, they're not doing things that are miles and miles different than you. They're just making teeny, teeny, tiny little tweaks that make a big, big difference. Once again, that success is in the simplicity. So feel free to go back, rewind parts of this video to really make sure that you're getting the form on this right. So remember, we're doing the and also too, for that ya, your tongue should basically be right at the back of your bottom teeth. It's like ya. I'm not going ya, ya. Because all these instrumental steps in the hung, ni, and the ya here, just on this first note that we're doing, it's once again building more of that stamina that we need so that in this older age, as your voice grows, to make it more and more powerful instead of getting weaker and weaker and weaker with age. Okay? So once you've nailed down the hung, ni, and the ya, what we're then going to do is we're going to transition that up on a slide up the scale from an O sound like oval to at the very top, it's going to be more of a oo sound like a boot. Okay? And it's going to sound a little something like this, to where we go Okay, a few things I want to point out about that. So you'll notice I had that nice hung ya and then the o to oo transition. It was very subtle as the vowel shape shifted from o all the way into oo. And you'll also notice as well that I did the exercise until I was just totally exhausted out of breath. I was like panting out of breath. Like you really, truly, truly need to be 100% completely exhausted out of breath. If you've seen the other videos on my channel, you notice that's a massive thing that I harp on. And it's because it's one of those not much things that makes a massive difference, because the success is in the simplicity. Okay? So let's have you try another one of these here again. So 1, 2, 3. Like I said, doing it till you are exhausted out of air. And the other thing I want to point out about this is you'll notice as I did that oh to ooh transition, I wasn't going like oh. You couldn't really quite tell where the O sound started to end and the ooh began. It was like oh. Like there's no exact moment in all of that slide where you could tell where one sound transitioned into another sound. An analogy for how you should think about this is almost think of it like you're a thief trying to rob from all the neighbors in the neighborhood. Is, you know, it's kind of like mess up as an analogy as that sounds, but you want to be very, very quiet and subtle with you switching from house to house. Otherwise, the neighbors are going to notice and they're going to get caught, and then you'll end up going to jail. So you want to fly under the radar with the subtlety of that transition, okay? And the big reason why you want to have that subtlety and the smoothness with this is what's known as vowel modification. And this is one thing that most vocal coaches either never talk about at all, or if they do talk about it, they just at best keep it surface level and never go into the true nuance. Because back to, once again, your voice being like a rubber band. You'll notice with this rubber band here, as I stretch it, as I'm going, oh, it's changing its shape. Because the thing is, I can't go, if I just keep it in the same shape, there's certain ranges, there's certain pitches that I'm not going to be able to get to unless the shape is required to change. And the thing is, in oh, changing it from O to ooh, it's training the muscles inside of your body to be able to change and to shift that shape so that you can efficiently and smoothly carry notes into all your registers, from your chest, your mix, all the way to the head. In fact, practicing this technique alone, this is what it did for just one of my students.
There's days that I can sing the whole time and not have any issues, and I have never had that before. We can't go through 3 hours of concerts. And for me, normally in the past, before we started this, I couldn't sing for 3 hours and not have it hit my throat. And now I can.
Wow, really?
So yeah.
So like you just couldn't make it through any of your concerts before?
Not a whole day. Like by the third concert in the day, which was the third hour, right? I would be struggling, and oh my gosh, my vocals hurt. I need a throat drop. I need sprays. And I don't even unpack my sprays half the time anymore because I don't need them, because it's not in my throat. That in itself has been amazing. I can tell you that last week when we did this in the morning before I had concerts, I felt so much stronger. At least in the first concert, it was like clean. And the next day we did our other warm-ups that we usually do, and I was not as strong. And Greg even said something. He says, I can tell a difference. I said, yeah. I said,
so legitimately you like copy and pasted our method versus the old thing you were doing. And when you did it our way, concerts were flawless versus like the older methods.
Yeah. I mean, it's just after I had worked with you that one morning that day was so much better than previous or the days after, because there was just a dramatic difference, like just in how I felt in addition to how I sounded. I just sounded better and stronger. So there's a clear difference.
Man, that's awesome. That's good to hear. Hey, by the way, if you want to go even deeper on the concepts that I've taught in this video from vocal stamina and specifically how to really make the most of your voice in older age, be sure to check out my free training in the link in the description called The 3 Biggest Singing Mistakes That Are Getting in the Way of the Songs You Sing, the albums that you attempt to record, and the gigs that you attempt to perform. This has helped out so many singers in the past, and I know it is absolutely going to help you to bust past all of the things that you've been struggling with for so many years. Once again, just click the link in that description or scan the QR code here above to get access to that training immediately. All right, so the next exercise that we are going to do here to once again, build more of this stamina and remove those cracks, breaks, strain, and throat tension is going to be very similar to what we did before, but this is going to be the Hunga exercise, to where we're starting out instead of a hum, we're starting out with a hang, like hanger, like hang. And the thing is, when you're doing this hang sound, the back of your tongue needs to be touching the back of the roof of your mouth. Okay? So for that hang, and to be clear, I'm not going hang, it's hang, hang. Okay? And everything else with the ni and the ya and the o to oo, all still the same, okay? So it's gonna look like 1, 2, 3. And as always, do the exercise so you're totally out of breath. Another thing I want to point out, you'll notice for the hang ya, I wasn't going hang ya. It was still the subtle hang ya. It's like that thief in the night, subtly going from home to home to home, being undetected to where it's gone before you notice it's gone. Notice how the hang was gone before you noticed it was gone, and then I went to the knee, and then the knee was gone before you even noticed it was gone, and then the ya was gone before you even noticed it was gone. It was hang, and then from the o to the oo. Okay? So I'll do another round here. 1, 2, 3. Hang. Okay, another thing I also want to point out is you'll notice like towards the tail end, my voice kind of went into a bit of that almost vocal fry type of motion as I was running out of breath. That's totally normal. Like even if you feel like you can barely get that note out, but even go those few extra seconds and still even have a bit of that crackly sound, because you know what that's doing? It's training the muscles of your voice to build up more stamina. So the next time you're in an actual performance, your body's gonna be like, oh man, I need to kick things into gear. Let's hit these notes without tension. Let's hit these notes without strain. Okay, we'll do this one more time here. 1, 2, 3. Hang. Man, you see, that time I was so out of breath. It's still taking me some time to catch my breath to even be able to talk to you. So you're going to want to do that exercise, like both of those exercises, the Hunga and the Hangnia, 5 rounds of those each every single day. And I promise you, you will not recognize your voice within the next 1 to 3 weeks. So once again, the simplicity in this is the effectiveness of this. Because what separates those good singers from those bad singers, it's not a lot. It's not much. So once again, if you've been really enjoying this video, be sure to click the link in the description to check out that free bonus training on the 3 biggest singing mistakes and how to avoid them. And also too, if you're wanting to go deeper on really mastering your mix, be sure to check out this other in-depth full guide breakdown I did on how to truly master your mix and specifically master belting throughout your mix.